Thank you very much. Alongside Luke Wilson and Davis Sanchez, it was a wild first Sunday to the new NFL season, and it all began early this morning in Miami, where Tyreek Hill was detained by police for reckless driving. First, how shocking was that video to see, Luke? And then the fact that Tyreek Hill was able to kind of recover, get to the stadium, and still play a football game.
Yeah, like you said, the first part, it is wildly shocking because it looks like it's right outside of the stadium. You know, I remember when you're coming in, generally speaking, your organization makes it pretty easy for you to get into the players' parking lot. They usually have something blocked off, or it's a bit of a back road so you can miss some traffic. So that in itself is just very, very strange and shocking. The video itself is, you know, pretty tough to watch. And then it's pretty awesome that he was able to perform. I think of myself, and I'm like, man, some of those car rides in to Seattle, I'm locked in. I think like, hey, this is all that matters in my life right now. I'm thinking about the game that's coming, my job, my role, you know, the situation. You got pregame music. To be completely rocked out of focus and to go through something like that, and then 2 hours later, you know, be able to put this performance on and make this kind of play in a very tight game that they won. And really, a big part of that was Tyreek. I got to tip my cap to him.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, a quarterback or a guy that has to do a lot of adjustments in the game may be affected more than a receiver. He's going out there and flying around. But I do understand that we talk about, you know, during the game or the ride up to the game where we're going through our checklist, our playlist and stuff like that, that could throw you off. I am shocked because you made a good point pregame. You just said it again that, you know, the team, the officers around the stadium, security, they all kind of work with the team. So it's shocking that I don't know the interaction with Tyreek. I'm sure the body cam is going to tell it at some time, but I'm surprised because, like I said, usually the officers and the folks there kind of work with the team to help. So it would be surprising, you know, if they weren't there to, you know, help Tyreek more than escalate the situation. But you know, I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, it'll be interesting as more news kind of trickles out. The other big news of the day was the fact that Dak Prescott got a deal done with the Dallas Cowboys before the start of play. The 4-year, $240 million. What's that Spider-Man quote? With great power comes great responsibility. With a lot of money comes great expectations. Davis, how much of a statement did Dak and co make against the Browns?
Yeah, they did. I'm glad he got his deal. That would have been tough going into this, knowing all those guys that held out or waiting. He was going to get the most money of all of them, and he was going to play. I saw this offense, and I look at Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase. And Jamar Chase this morning said, I'm the best receiver in the world. And Jamar Chase is the best receiver in the world. But Justin Jefferson is right next to CeeDee Lamb in the second spot. This receiving core for the Dallas Cowboys, they're tough to handle. You agree that the Browns may have the best or one of the best cornerback trios in the league, Lou?
Yeah, and a great defense across the board.
They're excellent because they can rush with 4 because they have Myles Garrett and they have great 3 corners. So if you can't play man, if you can beat man coverage like this against the Cleveland Browns, what are you going to do the rest of the NFL? I mean, I would say this during the game. I wouldn't play man-to-man coverage against the Dallas Cowboys. I don't know how you can. It showed today because Cleveland's as good as anybody in man coverage.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, I know the big question mark with this Dallas offense was the run game, and, you know, it's going to be kind of by committee. And I thought they looked all right. You know, I'm not going to sit here and say that they were stars, but Zeke was 10 for 40 with a touchdown, averaged 4 yards. Dowdle was in the 4-yard range until late in the game. He got stopped, ended up a little lower. But as a team, they rushed for 103, averaged 4.3. Like,
they'd be happy with that.
You take that combination and you combine it with the star power, you know, CeeDee Lamb, Cooks, Jake Ferguson, and now Dak Prescott, big money guy, you're feeling pretty good about yourself.
Okay, so Deshaun Watson was worse than expected, but I think the biggest surprise of the day still belongs to the Cincinnati Bengals, who were beaten by the New England Patriots week 1. So the poor starts to the season in Cincinnati continue. Luke, how concerned are you? It's early. It's week 1 for the Bengals.
I'm very concerned, and you saw this last year. They messed around early, games that they should have won, they didn't, and at the end of the year, came back to get them. And it's the same thing. Like, as much as I want to tip my hat to the Patriots, I still don't believe this is a great Patriots football team. The Bengals, on the other hand, are supposed to be fighting for a division, and a division that is the hardest division to win in football right now. And I understand Baltimore just lost to KC, but they're going to win a lot of football games this year. Kansas City is going to win a lot of football games. Excuse me. I just butchered it, Kansas City. I'm off. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Is there any way we can not run the whole hit over, or did I just jam everyone?
You want me to pick up for the last question? Sure.
Okay.
I'll pick it up from the third question. We can edit it. Okay. So somehow Deshaun Watson was even worse than expected, but I still think the biggest surprise of the day belongs to the Cincinnati Bengals, who lost to the New England Patriots. And so the poor start to seasons for Cincinnati continues. I know it's week 1, Luke, but how concerned are you at this point for the Bengals?
I'm very concerned. And just like you said, last year this was a problem, and it came back at the end of last season to really burn them. And now you come out against a team that I know they look okay today, but this Patriots team is not elite. They just simply aren't. And the Bengals are in the toughest division in the NFL. I know the Ravens lost week 1 to Kansas City, but the Ravens are going to win a lot of football games.
Not a good sign. No, not a good sign.
Pittsburgh went on the road today and won a football game. And as long as Mike Tomlin's there, Carrie, you're going to love hearing this, they're going to win football games.
Yeah.
So
They'll
you
find
sit
a way.
here, and the Browns obviously look rough, but again, with that defense, I do think that they will win football games. This is a game that they needed to win. It's a team that they're better than. And for them to come out and lay an egg like this, it's disappointing, and I really think it's going to hurt them in the long run.
Yeah, the energy in this building, forget about the football, the X and O's part, but the energy in the building is not good right now. It can't be. They're a known team to not pay their players. Jamar Chase, I mean, even he said before the game today, he said, after the game, he said they're 1-5 now in week 1 since Zach has been there. Since Zach Taylor's been there, 1-5 in week 1 games, right? Jamar said, what's wrong with us? We got to figure it out and be better than that by now. So that's kind of a shot at his week 1 is preparation from your coach. That's a little bit of a shot at your coaches, partly maybe, and then also just not paying guys, not taking care of the players. They paid Joe Burrow, which you have to, but I think this is a franchise that's known to not pay guys. There's a lot of unhappy people in that room. You have your starting quarterback grabbing his wrist. You saw what happened. That's not a good sign. That's probably some leftover issues. They said that it's still swelling up. There's still issues from last year with the wrist for Joe Burrow. There's just too much going on in that, again, especially to be in that division.
I think a lot of people thought Joe Burrow would come back and the Bengals would just be fine. I think what we were looking for, the Bengals now 1-10 in the first 2 weeks of the season under Zach Taylor. That's how bad their starts have been over the last 2 seasons. As we go back to SportsCenter, Kendrick Lamar, the halftime show. Thumbs up? Thumbs down?
Yeah, it's a thumbs up, yeah.
Thumbs down from Luke.
I mean, I'm a Drake guy.
He would've-
It's canon over here. What do you mean?
Can't be both?
No, not
He would
now.
have preferred Taylor Swift.
I'm an old fence sitter.